It's 9 a.m. It's Monday morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're ready because it's time. It's time. It's time. It's time for the show. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are doing good this morning. I hope you're feeling great. I hope you guys had an awesome morning this morning. We had a great morning this morning. Oh, my goodness, what a morning. Hold on, let me get this up here a little bit so I ain't got to bend down. I'm not in a bend kind of mood today. I'm in a come to my level kind of mood today. You know what I mean? So I hope you guys are doing good this morning. It's Monday, so you know what that means. It's Rise Together. We got Sabrina on this morning. Show y'all in just a second. Oh, well, there. Speaking of which.
I think I say.
What?
Pop it down. There we go.
Well, then we got to stand back here.
Well, you normally get a
That's
little.
okay. That's okay.
He gets a little. He's
get a little height.
He's a little hyped this morning, so we're going to give him some room.
Oh, wait.
Hey, guys.
My bad. Here, back up.
Oh, what are we doing?
Let my fatness block you. Ladies and gentlemen, watching around the world, we have a special guest this morning joining us every Monday and Friday. My special guest sharing with you my whole world, bringing it to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the #1 Zumba performer in Bloomingdale. The #1 light in my life. The one, the only. Give it up for Sabrina. There we go. There we go.
He's not modest or anything. Thanks, yeah. You're sweet. Hey guys, how's it going?
It's all about the intro, okay? It's all about the intro.
He hypes me up, boy. He's such a he needs to be an announcer.
So today we had a lot of things that we kind of wanted to talk about. Obviously, a lot of things are going on in the world, but I wanted to talk to you guys today about communication. And what are you doing?
I'm getting
gotcha.
pulled up so you see comments.
And having the communication with your partner. You know, having her on here, you know, a lot of times when I talk about things, it doesn't have the weight because it's easy to hear one side of it.
Right.
But having her here, you know, gives more gravity to the situation and the conversation. And I want you guys, it's easy to hear one.
Perfect.
And I want you to be able to, you know, gives more gravity to the situation and the conversation. Yeah, she's having a little bit of technical difficulties.
Go. I'm supposed to be the one that's supposed to know all of this. So there we go.
No worries.
Hey guys, communication.
But communication. It's really hard to be honest with with the people in your life that you love. You know, one of the things that changed our relationship is we came to a really dark point. You know, and we don't talk about the bad times with people, but you have to understand that for us to get here right now, we had to go through some serious bad times.
Yep.
You know, we got to a point where we weren't talking to each other. And about 2 years in, we didn't know if we were going to make it.
2 years in marriage.
Yeah, 2 years. We love each other. You see how much we love each other. But because we weren't communicating, we almost found the end of our marriage and 2 years in.
Yep.
Because we weren't. It was extremely hard. It was hard. We both had expectations and things that we didn't want to admit that we weren't happy about. And I know personally, I felt like it was saying that I wasn't happy with her to tell her that I wasn't happy. So I didn't tell her. I didn't communicate with her. And she was doing the same thing with me. You know, I can't stress this enough. We were very unhappy, but we weren't talking to each other. And because we weren't talking to each other, we couldn't grow from it. And we went, I'd say about a year that way. You know, like we were with each other every day, but we just didn't communicate. We weren't real with each other. We weren't honest with each other. So I want to explain to you what happened in that moment for us. For me, on my side of it, Sabrina wanted a certain life when we got married. And I was so concerned on giving that to her that I went overboard like I always do. And I didn't get her a life kind of like that. I got her the picture in the house that she showed me, you know, and she wanted a porch in the backyard, and I built the porch, and, you know, I had to have fence and the little farmhouse. And I did everything that I could in order to give her that.
Yep.
but I did it so fast that it was kind of overwhelming. You know, like I changed our life so fast that she didn't have time to really understand that was what she really wanted. You know, by the time she finished the sentence, I was working on it.
Yeah, no shit.
You know, but I want you to understand the moment that we created. She asked me for something and I got it for her. That was the thing that fucked us up. Because I went out and I got her what she wanted, she didn't know how to tell me that she wasn't happy with it.
Yeah. And that was hard.
You know, like
you paint a picture and you see this blueprint or you see this fairy tale for yourself and then it all comes true. And then you're just not ready for it. Like I wanted a house with a backyard for my dogs and I wanted to start a family. But when we got to the point, I was like, wow, I still got some living I want to do. I'm not really ready for all of this just yet. And that's terrible to feel like, because here he is busting his ass, doing everything in his power to give me what I want. And now I'm a spoiled brat because I've gotten everything that I wanted, my little house and my, you know, the little future I'd always saw for myself. And then thank God that we found the secret, because if it were not for the secret, we would not have had that change. Yep. We would not, I mean, we would still be where we were. We might not even be together. So thank God that came into our lives and that helped us, because I mean, I was going back and forth. I was like, I'm spoiled. Like I've got everything I really wanted, but now I'm not happy with it. Like this is exactly what I told him that I wanted. And we wouldn't even communicate. We would just argue. And in those arguments, he would throw that in my face and be like, this is what you told me you wanted. This is what you wanted, right? Like, why are you sad? Why aren't you happy? Why are you still mad? And it was because I didn't feel fulfilled. Like, and I didn't even know what it was. Like, it's sitting there. I couldn't even tell him at that moment that what was going to make me feel like I had a full cup. Like, it literally took The Secret. And from The Secret, we found YouTube videos and we literally put it into our minds and figured out what we wanted to do. And we figured out that we were too big for where we were. Like we wanted to do so much more and travel so much more and grow together so much more. The first few years of our relationship, if you know us, were kind of rough. I was getting out of a really serious relationship. He was going through stuff with his dad. My grandmother passed away. I took in my little sister. Like I took custody of her so she could go to the high school she wanted. That was literally, we weren't even together, ladies, gentlemen, talking. We were talking. Okay. And I had this 16, 17-year-old child living with me with an attitude, which she knows she's got an attitude, so I can say it. But
especially then.
But oh my gosh, like literally we went from one to another, to another, to another, like after each other. And then guess what? We decided to get married. And then we realized, oh my God, we haven't even really been living for ourselves these past few years together. We haven't. Like, what do we actually want to do now that we don't have this responsibility and all these bills tying us down? And, you know, we obviously want a family, but do we want a family here? Do we want to travel first? What are we doing? And we found out what was really, really important to us.
What she wanted, when she told me what she wanted, she does want it. But she wants that at the end of her life.
Right.
She wants that when she settles down, but she didn't know how to communicate that to me.
Right.
So she took it internally and battled with it daily because it's what she wanted, but it wasn't when she wanted it. You know, she wanted, when she told me that dream, she didn't know how to communicate to me that she wanted that 20 years down the road. And me being me, a guy, ladies, if you're listening, guys don't think of timing. They just hear what you want.
Yes.
And so when I heard what she wanted, I wanted to be a good husband. So I gave everything to give her what she wanted, to give her that dream, you know, but we weren't adult enough. We weren't mature enough to communicate with each other how we were honestly feeling in those moments. I mean, I cannot stress this to you. Like, we loved each other. Like, I mean, you see how much we love each other, but with 2 years in, we almost called it because we were unhappy. You know, that's the whole point of this challenge that we're doing now, is to show you the difference between happy and what you've been doing. You know, until we came across The Secret, you know, and I can thank Hillary for it. Hillary's the one that showed me The Secret. She gave me the movie, and when I watched the movie, I was like, oh my God, like, this is completely true. It sounds crazy. It sounds like positive thinking, you know, the law of attraction. Mm-hmm. But when you use it, it changes your actions, and your actions change your reality. Mm-hmm. You know, like, a lot of people like to only look at it as if it's, you know, just positive thinking. No, it's telling you that the universe wants to give you happiness. You're the one standing in the way of that. You know, and until you look inside and figure out why you're standing in the way of your own happiness, you're never going to achieve it. You know, so we had to sit down and have a conversation for the first time. We were together for 4 years, 5?
Yeah, something like that. 4 years.
4 years. Married for 2 before we honestly had the first real conversation about what we really wanted. And sat down, and it got uncomfortable. It wasn't easy. But for us to get here, we had to understand that neither one of us was really happy. We were both trying to live for the other person's happiness. You know, she knew that it made me happy to be able to give her all of that. She knew that how much work I had put into it. So she never wanted to tell me that she wasn't happy, because her saying it wasn't happy was saying that she didn't appreciate all the time and energy I had put into it to give it to her. Yep. But on her end, she wasn't happy because she didn't even know how to communicate how she was feeling to me. And that was killing her on the inside. So literally, I was on one side feeling horrible because I was giving her everything that she wanted, and it wasn't making her happy. And she was on the other side of it, feeling horrible because she didn't understand why she wasn't happy. See, we were at the same place, just 2 completely different sides of the coin. So we had to sit down and have a real conversation with each other. And this is probably one of the first times I ever life coached. You know, I life coached us. I was like, okay, what do we really want that's going to make you happy? And at first, her answers were the answers that got us to where we were.
But we needed to be specific.
Right. Yes, absolutely. She wanted that, but when did she want it? And that's when the answer came. Well, when I settle down, when I have kids. You know, we didn't need to settle down yet. We were trying to be us in 20 years. It was killing me because I have never been a settle down kind of person. And she knew that. She knew that I've always traveled, that I've always been kind of crazy, that I've always gone to my own beat, you know, but she knew that I was willing to give all of that up in order to live a normal life in the farmhouse and give her the life that she wanted. I was willing to sacrifice that. So then that just added to how much she was upset that she wasn't happy with the sacrifice I was making. So what did it take? It took us sitting down and having a real conversation and her being specific about what she wanted now. Not eventually, now.
And the crazy thing about it all was that we had so many things drawing us in that direction that we needed
in hindsight.
And yeah, in hindsight, because every vacation we ever took, we were going to the beach, we were going south. We knew we didn't like the cold as much as, you know, most people around us did, that we were definitely Southerners. You know, all these different things, and we kept fighting it. And it's funny to look back on it now to see all of the change that's happened because of that. It wasn't the easiest conversation to ever have, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's the best thing that we could have ever done for ourselves. Like, and to look back after all these years and all we've gone through because of it too, the things that we've been in some situations, y'all, a hike.
I want to express
traveling in RV.
I want to express something to you real fast. When she married me, due to the situations that were surrounding us, we were homeless what, 6 months after being married?
No, I mean,
Yeah, it was about 6 months. We were homeless.
and not that we were on the street, but we didn't have a place to call our own.
We would have been on the street if we didn't figure something out together.
Yeah.
We did. I got a job at a hotel, and through the job at the hotel, I worked it out to where I wouldn't have to pay for a room, that it would be taken out of my paycheck. Well, I guess I paid for it, but it would be taken out of my paycheck, and that's how we figured it out. But, you know, a lot of you guys love to look at us and be like, oh, they're so happy. Oh, they live at the beach. We were homeless 6 months after we got married. We were living in a hotel. That's not easy for me to say. It's not easy for her to hear. But you need to hear that.
But it's funny that you say that too, was because that was right before he got me everything I wanted. That's before he found the house.
That's why I went so hard with it.
Yeah.
That's why I went overboard with it. That's why I got her the exact thing. Because when we first started it, when she told me what she wanted, we were homeless. We had everything we owned in a fucking car, and we were living in a hotel with our dogs. And don't get me wrong, we had family that would have taken us in, but we didn't want to put that on somebody else.
No.
You know, we were too proud and too immature to accept help.
Yeah. And we'd already been through so much emotional stuff.
Right. And we just got married. Nobody wants to go to their family right after they got married and be like, shit, we're homeless.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the shit that you guys need to understand. You don't get to this point. You don't get to have a relationship as strong as ours without fucking going through some shit and having to be honest about it.
Yeah, because I mean,
imagine that for a second. We were homeless, and then she said, this is what I want. Just when we were in a low moment. And I took that internally and built that up and gave her that exact thing. And then she had to come to terms with it and realize that that wasn't what she wanted. How hard would that be for you to tell your loved one that? It took us years to get there. If we didn't have that conversation, we wouldn't be here now. Maybe not even together. As much as we love each other, without communication, it would have fallen apart. You know, I cannot stress that enough. You know, so what happened? We had a real conversation. And I asked her what she wanted now. Not what she wanted down the road eventually. She thought that she would have, for us to get that, we'd have to put in the work and then get to it eventually. She didn't realize I was going to go out and go for it all right away. But we had to put in the work. But then we had to put in the work on ourselves. And what did she really want to do? She was always jealous of the fact that I got to go travel, that I had so many adventures, that I went out and seen so many things. And she felt almost, I would say almost a resentment towards me that I got to go out and do those things. And that if we were settling down, she felt like she wasn't going to be able to do those things.
Nope.
And she had to tell me that. And I want you to understand this. To her, that was her worst nightmare. To tell me that. Do you want to tell my reaction to wanting to go travel and be adventurous and go to beaches and do all that?
He said that's what I'd be doing if I wasn't with you. He'd be living in a van on the beach.
Yep. So I can kick out the back doors and see the beach. Perfect.
No shoes, no shirt.
No, I don't need any of that shit. But for her, I was willing to try to do my best to give her that life. Lo and behold, when she told me what she really wanted, it was what I really wanted. So what happened? We changed our lives. We started watching YouTube, and we watched this channel called Gone with the Winds. And they took an RV. Same thing. They were frustrated with the American dream, like what we were trying to chase. They bought an RV, and they went across the United States.
They were a younger couple with their 2 cats.
And the funny part about that we loved was the first thing that they said was, this is something that people retire and do.
Yeah.
Why wait till you retire? And we were like, whoa, yes, that's what we're doing. We're living a life like we're retired right now. So yes, like, how do we do it? So they said, don't wait. Everybody waits to live the best life and at the end of their life. Live the best life now. And I was like, awesome, let's go. And when I pitched this idea to Sabrina, Well, she always likes to say it was her idea, don't you?
What?
That it was your idea to go like buy a camper and.
Yeah, I mean, because I saw it and I knew he wouldn't do it if I didn't want to do it.
Let's be honest. I couldn't have done it if she didn't want to do it.
The thing that excited me the most was that we had never owned a house before. We'd owned vehicles before, but this was like a tiny house too. And that it would be one of the first things that we would own together.
Yeah, it may have been a camper, but it was, and it's still parked outside.
It's like our guest house right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if people come and stay with us, we set it up to where
Not quite a guest house, you know.
but
there are limitations to it.
I like to think of it like a tree house. Like
I use it as my getaway sometimes, but the whole point is that it was the first thing that we owned together. It was the first step for us choosing the life that we wanted. Now, I want you to look at Sabrina's face. Look at the camera when I say this.
Oh, God.
Was it easy?
No, it was not. It pushes you, and but it changes you. Like, I knew I was a handy person. I take pride in it, being a woman and being able to use power tools and build things and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you what, it tested my limits. Like, I revamped everything.
Yeah, we redid the whole camper.
Then traveling in it and having to, hooking stuff up and taking tanks out.
Oh my God. If you guys could have seen her the first time, I had to dump the shit tank. Oh my God. So
it gets easier. Just let me say that, okay? It gets easier.
So
you're gonna tell the story?
I'm not gonna get into detail.
Spare it, please.
I'm not gonna.
It's not a good moment for me.
No,
it's not a good moment.
When shit hit the fan, Sabrina was out. I will just say that she was like
me and Pooh.
Oh, she was out, but it got better. We got better at it. I got better at it. She never really got better at it, but I got better at it.
He wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah, after that time, I was like, no,
I do it at campsites, but that's it. That's it.
When there's no one else around.
But it does. It pushes you and you grow. And because we went through that together, we had problems, unfortunately, at his father's house, the house that we lost, and why we were homeless and everything like that. Issues.
We lost almost everything.
We lost.
And Amanda, if you don't know this and you're watching this, I want you to know that
she's in here.
The reason that we left our house originally was because the septic backed up and it filled our basement up with shit.
Yep.
That's why we left.
Yep, that's why we had to end up. I mean, there were other reasons too.
We would not have left.
But that was God telling us that we needed to.
Yeah, God was like, listen, Jimmy, I get it. You're going to stay here no matter what. It's time for you to go.
Because it was his dad's house and we weren't giving up. We had just gotten married there. We were going through all kind of legal things because his dad had passed.
We were so stubborn that I kid you not, we were scooping shit out and trying to just to figure something out.
Yeah, just fix it.
Just not even fix it. Just figure out a way to get by it because we were so stuck in that place because it meant so much to me with my dad passing and struggle that we were fighting for. But literally, that was not the first or the last time we had to deal with shit.
Literally.
We literally had to go through it in order to get here. God, there's just so many struggles. I think one of my favorite stories of the trip was that when we went to leave, you need to understand this. We bought a truck that I had never owned or driven a truck before. We spent $800 to get the truck outfitted to pull the camper. We went to get it hooked up only to find out that we didn't buy a big enough truck to pull the fucking camper.
It might work. How far are y'all going?
Yeah, they should have asked that beforehand. Before I bought the fucking truck. But anyways, so we hooked it up. And then after we hooked it up, they were like, well, as long as you're not going far.
How far are y'all going? We're like,
and I was like,
Georgia?
No, well, at that point, yeah, we knew we were headed to Georgia. And we were like, Georgia. And the guy was like, oh. And we were like, oh, well, it's got to work. I don't know. If it breaks down, it's got to work. We've already bought the fucking truck. I can't give the truck back. We've already had the hitch installed. We spent the money. It's got to work. And we were petrified.
God.
Petrified. Was it easy? No. But you want to know the funny part? Her car, which was the good car.
We've told them this story before, yeah.
Her car, which was the good car, started overheating the day we left town. It would not go more than 2 hours at a time without overheating and us needing to pull over and spend 2 hours on the side of the road or in a gas station for it to cool down enough for us to go another 2 hours. You want to know how we found that out? Because when it broke down, we didn't give up. We figured out we're going to keep pushing. And we were like, man, it's about 2 hours. So you know what we did? We took that fucking trip 2 hours at a time.
Yep. And it was funny because
it made us have so much more fun.
It's funny because him being on his adventures and being able to travel when he was younger and everything like that, it's easy for him to react really quickly in those situations. And he always turns to me now. Before he didn't have to do that, but then now he turns to me to be like, is this a good idea? Like, so as soon as we saw that the car was overheating, he immediately turned to me and was waiting for me to fail and not want to go and want to stay. And I could see it as soon as he looked at me. But I'm going to tell you, in that moment, I knew, and I prepped myself for it, knowing that I hyped myself up and give myself anxiety about things. But I knew in that moment, I'm the boss, I know it. So in that moment, I knew I wasn't giving up. I was like, no, Jimmy, my whole damn house is back here. I got my dogs. I got all my shit packed up in storage right now. We spent thousands of dollars to do this shit. No. I was like, what are we going to do? We got to figure it out. I'm not calling anybody to come pick us up off the side of the road. And that's pretty much the tempo and the attitude I had at the moment. And he was like, okay, all right. That's what he needed to see in that moment. He was like, oh shit, it's all going to fall apart on us. What do we do? And to turn to me, normally I would have been like,
she would have been the first person to be like, I want to go be comfortable and safe.
I'd be like, no, we got to call somebody. They got to come get us.
Like, oh, no, she would have been like, we got to call my mom.
But because the secret, the positive energy, the communication and everything like that, I was in it to win it. Like, I was done. I was ready to go. I'd given up all my classes I'd worked so hard for, and I was so upset that I was having to leave my students and my friends and my whole life behind. I was moving forward. I was going forward. And we did. 2 hours at a time. We ended up hitting up. What were they? Were they Flying J's, right?
Yeah. So we figured out that
all the way down 95.
Yeah, we figured out that just about every 2 hours or 1.5 hours, there was a Flying J truck stop. So we joined their membership program so that we could take showers and stuff like that while we were traveling and eat at the Denny's and stuff like that. So we eat so much Denny's.
We've definitely told this story before. I have the same reaction every time
much
about
Denny's
now.
But we stopped at Flying J's almost every Flying J down 95, but so that we took the time and the car could cool down, but it did not stop us.
Nope.
You want to know why? Because the reason why that we wanted to keep going was more important than the reason to stay behind.
Yep.
We knew exactly what the life would be if we kept living the life that we had already lived.
Yep.
What we didn't know was what was on the other end. What would happen if we kept going? What would happen if we just believed and acted on it? Trust me, there were times I probably cried in the bathroom of these truck stops. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, the car won't even run 2 hours. Like, and we're taking a 10-hour trip to move. Like, it was insane.
It took us a few days, but once again, hindsight, looking back, we planned it to where we had those few extra days because we actually wanted to kind of travel a little bit and check some stuff out. But we didn't get to necessarily do that, but that gave us the chance to be able to actually get there on time where we needed to be. We had jobs lined up and things like that we needed to be there for and everything like that. And we made it and we were fine. And honestly, if we would have tried to push it and, tried to run the cars, that the dogs wouldn't have liked it. It would have been uncomfortable for both of us.
Everything happens for a reason. Life happens for us, not to us.
Right.
So we probably would have gotten miserable and turned around if everything would have worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
If it would have worked out perfectly, we could have probably would have come down on vacation and then been back home in a heartbeat.
Like we've done before.
But we had to fight for it so hard we weren't going to give up.
Yeah.
See, but that doesn't happen. None of that happens without communication. None of that happens without us being brave enough to tell the other one how we feel. It's not easy. I know it's not easy. But I promise on the other side of it is your best life. On the other side of it is both of you being happy, both of you being fulfilled, and creating a team that can take on anything. I assure you, if we can take on being homeless, if we can take on everything else, at the end of the day, there was nothing we were really scared of. You know, like we come up with some fears and make some shit up because the other stuff isn't apparently scary enough. But we're here.
Yeah.
Do the action and you get the life that you want. Now, is it the exact life that I want? No, because when I got here, what did I do? We got content. You know, like we were like, okay, let's get a job. Let's do this. And we did it again.
Yep.
We did it again.
We literally just did that this year.
Yep.
Like, not that we were just super, super bad. We were nowhere near where we were in those 2 years because we had learned from it. But I could feel it. I could feel it coming this time. And it's not that I wasn't grateful for him or grateful for what I had, but I could feel myself. And this is how I explain it now. We're plateauing.
Yeah.
It's like a workout.
We need to recalibrate.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
need
another
to,
good term that I use.
You know that
recalibrate.
See, when I say it, she said it. See how that happens?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hit a nerve.
But the whole thing is that once you reach a goal, that goal is no longer your goal. So you have to pick new goals. And we didn't know that either. We had never achieved a goal like that to know that, hey, wow, that wasn't going to last for long. Like the satisfaction of achieving getting down here lasted maybe, a month?
Well, no.
And we were like, okay, now we got to get jobs. And now.
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
that part of it, we jumped into it very quickly because we were also trying to build a tiny house and get land and everything like that. But that's another thing, too. That didn't work out for us right now.
Oh, well, like everything that we planned on doing when we came down here, we didn't do.
No, there's a lot of things that we said that we wanted to do. And we were putting into, once again, hindsight, we're putting into this vision board for ourselves, but we're not doing the right time frames. We ended up realizing that actually it's cheaper on us to buy a house. We can do a little bit more with the house because it's actually on the land, not just buying land and then building. And then I realized that we kind of already have a tiny house with the camper. We could just renovate that completely if we wanted to, or we could build a tiny house and instead of putting it on land in Georgia, we put it back home in like West Virginia area where we can go visit our family and still have our own spot or something like that.
So your perspective changes with your experience.
Yes.
It's not that your dreams change. It's that, like when we saw that we could do that, it changed us. We were like, oh, wow. Like if we were living in Winchester, you think we ever would have thought about having a house in two different places?
No. But
being down here and knowing, okay, well, we already have a house. We got the house because it was cheaper for us because when we were looking at land here was so expensive that it was cheaper to buy the property with the house on it and tear the house down than it was for us to buy the property.
Yeah.
So we were left in a dilemma. So I was like, okay, let's start looking at cheap houses that maybe we can afford to get the land.
Cute little fixer-uppers, Joanne Gaines here.
And we found this. And it's not perfect. No, it'll probably never be perfect.
But it's got character.
But it's us. It's us. It's a perfect symbol of us. It's got its cracks. It's got its bruises. It's definitely got some troubles in the foundation. But...
And we learned, too, that I feel like when I was growing up, I had a pretty close family, like close living quarters and things like that. But being in the camper, being in the fifth wheel together, it was so great to literally, sometimes it wasn't. Potty time was not fun.
At first, it is not fun.
No.
At first, you're like, I just need my own space.
Yes.
Go the fuck away.
Yes.
But eventually you learn to coexist. And when you learn to coexist in that small of a space, you never need that extra space again.
And I encourage couples to do it too, because this is something that I really grew with the communication part of things. Jimmy kind of already touched on it about how closed in I am, and I still have troubles with it. I'm still working on it every single day.
Both of us are.
Yes, both of us are. But when I was in those moments where I kind of lost my train of thought, where was I going with that?
I don't know. You were starting.
I know. I was apologizing.
I was still working on communication.
Well, I was going to say with the fifth wheel and everything like that.
I recommend it to couples.
Yes, because now I'm getting back on course. So with that, because with the communication, you guys can't run away. I'm a person that I get upset and I walk to the next room sort of thing. Like I don't face it in those moments. We had to face our shit.
She locks the door. Okay, let's be honest. She closes the door and locks the door. You want to know why we grew so much as a couple? There was no fucking doors.
There was one little like
to the bathroom.
Accordion. No, it was the bedroom. A little accordion door. So I get pissed off and I take it and I slam that.
She really would, because there was no door. She would slam the little fake door all the time. She'd be like, ugh! And it wouldn't have the effect, and that would piss her off even more.
Because the bathroom door, because of the way that it's so heavy, just because of the way that it was made and everything, if you swung it too much, you'd break it. And I was not going to break off the bathroom door. That's the only privacy you pretty much had in this thing.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, us being so close together, it's one of the reasons why we love our dogs so much, because they were in our face constantly, always around us and everything like that. So I think people should do it. Like, I know our friends Paul and Amanda are thinking about doing it. Do it. Like, take your family out, do it. Put yourself in a really close, tight niche. Because now, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but because now with our little house that we have now, everybody's like, oh, well, if you guys want multiple kids, you guys have to have multiple rooms and things like that. Well, no, not really. Like, we might have to, but we can always figure it out. And I can definitely, put a wall up or something like that to make it.
We'll just move the older kids out to the camper.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, the camper's so close, literally.
It's like their own apartment. Like, everyone loves it.
Yeah, but not that, or we stay in it or something like that. I don't want to. My bed's in here.
I was going to say, those kids ain't taking over my house.
You can sleep out there.
Yeah, take over the house. You see what happens?
But regardless of it, like, I feel like that most people, if they're put together and they're pushed together in those hard things, we watched this through Breakthrough with Tony Robbins and everything, and being put through something hard like that, you come out stronger. Like, multiple times that we've been tested. Sometimes we've tested ourselves, moving down here and putting ourselves in that situation. We were testing ourselves. That's something we brought to ourselves to test ourselves with. But sometimes you're not, with deaths and family issues and all that anxiety and things like that. Once again, in those moments when you don't feel strong, what's wrong?
No, you're okay.
When you don't feel strong, that you can have that person to be there with you, but you need to know that you can talk to that person too. One of the hardest things with me is that I can remember when we first started hanging out, he was my best friend. I tell him everything. And there was times that I was like, I can't even talk to him right now. I'm so pissed off and I can't tell him how I feel because I'm more worried about how he feels too. And now I'm just a big old mess now because I don't want to upset him because I love him, but I'm pissed off because he's doing something that's pissing me off. So
she forgot in there that I was her best friend.
Right.
Too. I was just her husband and she was just looking at me like her husband, and she forgot that I was her best friend too.
That he knew a lot about me, that he saw my growth, and then he got to literally witness the things and the changes that I'm making in my life. So, live that person. You got to remember that. You got to remember that when you're fighting with them and you're getting upset with them, and said you actually love them. Jimmy tells me this all the time when we're communicating. When I'm screaming and I'm upset and I'm mad and I'm angry and I'm, want to punch shit, it's just saying that I love you and I'm frustrated. It don't look
scared.
like that.
She's scared.
Yeah.
In relationships, one of the things that I know that we're coming up on the end of it and we can't run too much longer, but I want you guys, the one takeaway I want you to take away today is intent. Mm-hmm. Never question your partner's intent. Never question who they are. You can say, I hate how you're acting. And that's understandable, but never question them. Because when you start to question who somebody is, they start to question who they are. And if you are the reason they question that, you're doing more damage than you really know. Never question your relationship or your spouse's intent. You don't know what's going on inside them. Most of the time, if they're acting out that makes you really unhappy, they're fucking petrified. They're scared on the inside, especially men. I'm speaking on behalf of most men in the fucking world right now. When we get scared, we act out in aggression because we're that petrified. That our inner child doesn't know how to express what we're feeling, so it comes out in aggression. So if you see us get aggressive, that's us, our way of crying. Men don't cry, we get aggressive. When we get overwhelmed by our emotions, we become aggressive. So think about that the next time that you're in your relationship and you're questioning is this the person that I love? Of course it's the person you love. They're just scared right now, so they're acting the fucking fool. We all do it. When I get scared, when she does something that really scares me, of course I crash out. I don't mean to, and I'm getting better at it, but I would have never got better at it if I never realized I did it in the first place. Never question their intent. It's fine to not like the behavior of someone you love, but it's not okay to question whether or not you still love them. That person, don't get me wrong, there are days this woman right here drives me insane. She drives me insane. Why? Because I would love her to be a certain way. I would love her to be a certain way. I would love her to see herself the way that I see her. When she struggles with her self-confidence, that kills me because I see the most amazing person ever. And that's frustrating to me. And some days I don't know how to tell her that. So it comes out in aggression because it's frustrating. See, frustration, real close to anger. So it's easy for me as a guy to be like, fuck, man, why don't you get it? Why do you do this shit? But that doesn't make her feel better either. Because then she thinks that I upset her too. And that just adds to it. Most of the time, if you really want to make things better, shut the fuck up. Trust me, it's my number one lesson. If I give you anything when it comes to relationships, if you really want to make things better, shut the fuck up and listen. Because what you're going to find out is that anytime she's acting out, anytime that she's making me mad, anytime I'm getting that upset with her, she's scared and I'm not being a good husband. I'm not seeing that she's scared. I'm worried about me and what I want and how I want her to act. But if I step outside my own self for a second and I stop fucking talking and I listen to her, I hear the voice of my wife. I see my wife scared. And you want to know the one trick to end that? It's not proving your point. It's one thing. You want to see what it is? How often does that end our arguments?
A lot of the times. It just takes us a minute to get there.
Right. It's not like every time we start the argument, but there has to be a moment where you understand that she's not, I have to understand that she's not trying to upset me. She's not trying to hurt me. She doesn't want to do this. She's doing this because something inside her is hurt or scared, and she doesn't know how to tell me. So I need to be the better person in the relationship in that moment and be the stronger person and just say, hey, I'm not getting what I want either, but I love you and I love you for who you are. I'm not questioning who you are. I'm questioning your behavior. I don't like your behavior, but I know that you don't act like this. And if you don't act like this, you're fucking scared. You don't have to say it to him. You have to say it to yourself. And then in that moment, just really look at him. In that moment, she's so tense and she's so mad. And trust me, there are times I go to hug her and she's, yeah. And she's like, no, I'm not in the fucking mood for a hug. Guess what? Hug harder. She needs to hug more than ever right then. Most of the time what happens is as mad as she is, as soon as we hug, it stops.
Because it reminds me, hey, you actually do like him.
She loves me. She doesn't just like me, okay? But that's the whole point.
Oh, my heart.
Is that you can convince yourself if you stay in your head of some bullshit story of why this isn't the person that I fell in love with. Yeah, people change. But the core of the person is who you fell in love with if you did it right. And that's never going to change. Now, their behavior can change. Pay attention to it. Because their behavior is telling you something that you might not want to hear. There's a lesson to learn in every stage in life. If someone's behavior is out of the norm, they're normally scared. I promise. It almost always comes back to fear. Every time. What the funniest part is when I say that to men, you know what they say every time? I'm not scared, bro. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. The most open-minded guys, I swear to God, every time. You want to know why? Because guys think it's weak to say that they're scared. It took me forever to learn that courage is the strength in the moment, in the presence of fear. You have to acknowledge the fear to be courageous. If you don't, you're just brave and blind. Seeing what the problem is and standing up to it is what courage is. I had to have courage to be the best husband for her 2 years in our marriage. Now I have to make that choice every day. I don't get to wait 2 years in between choosing whether or not I'm going to be a good husband. I've got to choose that every day. So my challenge to you is remember the intent of the person that you love. Remember who the person is. You cannot like their behavior, but you can change their behavior to be positive. You can never change who they are. And remember that. You fell in love with them for a purpose. They love you. You love them. Shut the fuck up. Start listening. And then after you're done listening, communicate from the heart. All pain that you ever feel in your life is you trying to deny love from someone. It's you trying to hold back. Stop holding back, especially with the people that you love. Communicate with them. Be honest with them. You want a better life? Be a better communicator. With yourself too. Have the ability to look yourself in the mirror and truly be honest with yourself. Like you want to be with your mate. If you think you're fucking fat, say you're fat. Take all the power out of anyone that might say that to you. And say it to yourself. Say, you know what? I am fat, but that's okay. Because
I'm doing this 90-day challenge.
Because all I need to do is put the action in, and fat's real easy to conquer. That's not a problem. Trust me. After I'm done with this 90-day challenge, there's going to be a single one of us worried about getting in shape. We're going to worry about how we celebrate. So I want you to take that with you today. And not just your relationship with your significant other. Every relationship in your life. Your family, your kids, your parents, your friends. Be honest with you. Is that something that's healthy for you? For some of us, I can't tell you how many people have the best of intentions, but fucking pays roads to hell for the people they love. Just because someone has a good intention doesn't mean that they're good for you. You have to decide that. You have to go through and figure out what your goal is and whether or not that person's going to help you get there. And if they're not, you don't have to end the relationship. You're not in high school. You don't have to break up. You just have to be honest with yourself about that relationship. You have to be honest in the moment of knowing that they may not be who I want them to be. And that's okay, because it's kind of fucked up for me to only want people that I can control in my life. Variety is the spice of life. Not having control is what you probably need. So give it up. Let go, let God. Just take the moment and believe in the fact that there's something bigger than you steering this shit. Stop trying to control it. You know, I don't get me wrong. I don't want you just to sit it on the couch and think everything's going to change. It's not. You got to take action, but stop thinking that, you know, stop. Most people misunderstand what they can do in a year. Or I take that back. They underestimate what they can, or overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can do in 30. Everybody's willing to put in the year. No one's willing to put in the 30. If you want to be great at something, be willing to put in the 30. That goes for your relationship. You know, everybody's willing to be a friend in the moment when, oh, we had a class together, or we worked together, and blah, blah, blah. But to really be there, you got to be willing to put in the 30. You know, don't go temporary. Go deep. Make a connection. Be honest. Communicate. It's the only way that you're going to make a difference. And a life without connection is one of the saddest lives you'll ever have. So share it. You know, if you get to the top, it's real lonely up there without somebody to share it with.
For sure.
Don't make that mistake.
For sure.
So, Bull,
Yep.
you want to have a closing moment? Say bye or anything?
No, I hope everybody had a great first day with the priming.
Challenge.
Yeah, the priming and everything like that.
Ooh, look.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's not cute.
It's all right. Hey, that's what real work looks like. I'm not here to be pretty for you. I'm not here to be fucking fake and go have a makeup crew before I come on here.
I'm still in my workout clothes too.
This is reality TV, people.
Yeah, this is what you get Sundays, okay?
You damn right. I ain't here to be pretty. I'm here to be real.
But no.
Be real.
10 o'clock, happy Monday.
There it is. There's the alarm. Woo! Okay. That's the only producer on the show is that stopwatch. When the stopwatch goes off, I know that my time's coming up. So I want you guys to know that, you know, I wanted to tell you guys that because a lot of people always tell us how great they think our marriage is and, oh, it's so awesome that you guys went and traveled and that it's so great and blah, blah, blah. But Facebook doesn't show those bad moments.
No.
You know, those bad moments are what made us who we are.
Yeah.
You know, the struggle that you're so scared of, your strength is on the other side of that. So don't be worried.
You got this.
You got it. Oh, look at them guns. Look at them guns. Put them up.
Oh, they
Damn.
ain't
Go on,
big. They ain't big. Look, yours is on the way.
You're damn right it is because it's huge. Look at that damn thing.
All right, guys. I got to go.
All right. We got to go get stuff done, but we love you. We hope you have a great day. We hope you had a great prime this morning.
Yes.
We hope you're ready to kick butt on this 90-day challenge.
Woo.
And if you need us, we're always here. We love you. Bam. Here, hold on. Let's do it together. Put them up. Bam. Look at that. Rise together. All right. Pay attention.
Stay
tuned and witness my growth. Because we go together. I love you guys. Have a great day. And we will see you for the challenge. I'll see you in a little bit for the live class. I'm going to shoot for probably around 1 o'clock for that. But the recording will be on the page, so you'll be able to go back and watch it later. And if you can join me live, I look forward to it. Other than that, go out and slay the day. You deserve it. Love you, family. Oh, we dancing? We dancing our way out? Okay. We dancing our way out. No music, though. That's how we do it.
Ooh.